The new budget here in Australia has been revealed, and boy is it tasty when it comes to Australian housing. Tasty for some, not really tasty for others. In this video, I'm going to cover off exactly what the budget had in relation to housing, how it'll affect you, how it'll affect me, and anyone that's looking to purchase property over the next couple of years. If you're interested, keep watching. Hey guys, my name is Ravi and welcome back to Personal Finance with Ravi Sharma. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button because I talk about real estate, cryptocurrency, and financial freedom. Now, if you are interested in more content like this, updated content every single day, then definitely go ahead, join the Patreon community. That's where I'm talking about all this stuff and more when it comes to crypto, NFTs, and personal finance. So definitely go check that out. Mr. Chalmers, the treasurer here in Australia, has announced a National Housing Accord. Ooh, that sounds important. It's between the governments, investors, and the industry to build the affordable homes our country desperately needs and to help tackle our housing crisis. Did I sound like a politician there? Because that's what I was intending to do. Probably not. I'll stick to YouTube. Let's go. He goes on to say that we have the plan to build 1 million homes. You like that one? No? Okay. Let me continue.
Okay, I'm done with the cringe stuff. Let's go.
The idea behind this in the budget is to go and increase the supply we have, because if we increase the supply, that means prices won't go up as high, and it also means affordable housing and rents. It means that the rental crisis we have right now, not going to be a problem. And be sure to stick all the way through, because at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you my thoughts in plain English of how silly this plan is and why. Now, the government also went on to announce that they're doubling down on some of these grants. The Australian government really loves real estate. It's pretty obvious at this point. By going ahead and doubling all of these grants, it means more demand into the market. And although in their view, it's, hey, we're doing a really good thing because more people can buy homes. And in effect, the way I look at it is going, well, this is fantastic because more people will buy a house. That means they're going to have a loan for 30 years. That means they're going to be a tax slave.
That's pretty much what I thought.
Now, when it comes to the 1 million homes, this is going to start in 2024, and the plan is to build 1 million homes across all of Australia for the next 5 years after that. So about 2029 is when it's going to finish. Now, you might be hearing this and saying 1 million properties over the next 5 years is going to be massive. Like, I don't want to invest in real estate because there's so much more supply. That's what you tell us, Ravi. Well, yeah, you're right in saying that. However, when you actually find out that over the last 5 years, ending in June 2022, we actually had 974,732 new homes completed, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics. So effectively, we've just done the million or so properties completed in the last 5 years, and now we're in a situation where rental dwellings are at pretty much all-time lows, vacancy rates are all-time lows, so we have a rental crisis, and we also don't have that much stock available for sale. So why would this be any different when it comes to the next 5 or 6 years? I'll explain that in a second. Now, to further emphasize the issue here, over the last 5 years, yes, we had issues with APRA when it came to construction loans, interest-only loans, but then that pretty much went away halfway through. And over the last couple of years, we even had grants to promote people to go and build homes with the home builder package. So we've had great conditions for increasing the level of construction. We've had construction companies collapsing. We also have construction costs increasing, which in turn is not really attractive for anyone wanting to build a house. And it's also taking longer to complete. So before the pandemic, we probably at about 8 or 9 months to construct a home. Now on average, it's taking about 12 months. With the rates having increased so quickly, we also have the borrowing capacity for a lot of people be absolutely destroyed. So in the short term, we're not really going to have so much of an increase when it comes to construction in Australia. What you can see is the rolling average of dwelling completions. The decade average to 2015 was sitting at about 771,000. And when you look at the past 5-year average, you're sitting at closer to about 1 million properties. However, more recently, we've started to see this decline. And this is only updated to June 2022. We're yet to see the full effects of these rates. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that worm completely nosediving at this point. So when it comes to the 1 million properties that they're planning to build and all of a sudden we're going to have an oversupply, it means nothing. We have increased migration caps. We have already registered higher numbers of migration than we ever have before. Although we've seen a decrease in housing demand due to the fact that raising interest rates have killed off a lot of borrowing, we should see this sort of return back. But this time when it returns back, we also have a lot more immigration coming into the system. So a lot more people are coming into Australia, and that means more demand. And the key thing here about the 1 million properties is it doesn't really kick off till 2024. So we're in 2022. We're probably at least about 12 to 14 months before we even start seeing some of these initiatives really roll out. So in the meantime, we have a window where we're going to have a rental crisis that's only going to get worse, given that we don't have enough properties and we've already increased migration caps, allowing more people to enter the country. I believe it's going to take more than 5 years to actually reach a level of equilibrium when it comes to supply and demand, which is why I'm so optimistic about prices rebounding in some of these major capital cities over the long term. But more importantly, a lot of regional centers as well as smaller metro markets are experiencing high levels of growth, and I predict that in 2023 this won't change. In fact, it probably will accelerate from the numbers we've seen in 2022. Now, there are some existing plans that's going to help ownership and, affordable housing, and that is the Help to Buy scheme, as well as the Regional First Home Buyer Guarantee, a $10 billion Housing Australia Future Fund, an expansion to the exemption of home sale proceeds from pension assets testing from 12 months to 24 months, the Defence Home Ownership Assistance Scheme, and it goes on. Now, you can pause it here, read all about it, but effectively it's going to tell you one thing. The Australian government is so attracted to keeping house prices up, they are throwing everything and will continue to throw everything at the wall to continue boosting up prices. A large portion of Australian wealth is in real estate, and is why they're so infatuated because of the wealth effect. As your property price goes up, you have equity, and as the equity increases, you feel like you're more wealthier. And if you're more wealthier, you're going to go and buy more stuff, and that keeps the economy growing, and the government loves that because they make more tax when the economy is growing. Now, so far this is sounding amazing for anyone that owns assets or is about to own assets. If you go ahead and invest in property and you're going out acquiring those assets, this is all just going to be increased demand that's coming your way, which means as the demand increases, the price of the property should increase. Now, again, when I say property, it could be apartments, it could be houses, but I always like to invest in houses and in good locations. If you need help, there's a pinned comment to my email. Shoot me an email. I run a buyer's agency helping people like yourself going, hey, I want to outsource this process. I don't know where to start. How about you go and do this for me? So I'll go and do it for you. Now, just when you think it's all over, and yes, the budget is complete and the housing demand, it looks like it's in an increase. And that's when it gets more interesting, because this is something I picked up in the budget that I feel like is going to affect housing to a whole nother level. And what it is institutional investing. And the Accord actually goes on to say that they want to encourage superannuation funds to come and purchase property. So just when you think you have enough competition with immigrants coming into the country, you have other people wanting to invest and buy property for themselves, guess what? Super funds are coming in and they're going to buy up property too. If it's being invested by a super fund, they're investing in property. That means more rental dwellings available, which should ease the pressure of the whole rental crisis. However, I believe that's short term. As more money is coming into these super funds and they're going out and offloading it into the residential real estate market, coupled with the fact that you have more demand from overseas and you have grants that are promoting more people to purchase property, you're going to have this situation of the rental crisis continue and accelerate. I believe over the next 12 months, at least until this is implemented, you're going to have so much more conviction around people acquiring assets. And it's conversations I'm having every single day where people are going out, they've cashed up over the last couple of years with the equity in their properties going up, and anyone that can borrow is borrowing. There's a small percentage of people that are obviously holding back, but those same people that were holding back 3 months ago are now unfortunately unable to purchase. Now, I definitely don't want to have this sound like I'm urging you to go buy property right now, but it's about prompting you to start researching and getting your plans in action. You might be 6 months away from purchasing, but if you don't have the plans today and you don't factor in your borrowing capacity dropping and all the other outside factors that are going to come play a part in your life, then you are doing this incorrectly. I got told that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Shout out to my modern history teacher in year 12. I believe there are some positives when it comes to housing supply and increasing that, but I just don't think it's ambitious enough. I don't think it's enough for what we need here in Australia. We have already gone and tested how much 1 million new properties will affect in terms of the market. It didn't do much. In fact, it went the other way. Now we have a shortage of supply. Simply going out and having a goal of another million properties is simply not good enough. I don't think it's going to go a long way into providing more affordable housing. I think prices will continue to go higher, and eventually when we start seeing rates cut, we're going to have more confidence come into the system, and that most likely will happen before these initiatives are in place. I'd love to hear your opinion on what this budget means for housing in the comments down below. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, because I'm making videos every single week for you to bring you value. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks, guys.